So you've been wanting to research companies, but you don't necessarily have the time to do it yourself, or you don't know how to do it yourself. In this series of videos, I'm going to be going step by step through my entire process from beginning to end on how I find companies, what I look for when I do my initial research on the companies, if they pass my initial research, how do I value and evaluate them after reading their financial statement. I will go step by step, including valuations when we get to that point, and how to evaluate companies. My name is Jason Rivera, and welcome to Value Investing Journey Case Studies.
Hey, Jason here. Today's video, I'm gonna tell you the one time. There's only one time share buybacks are a good use of capital. Before I get to that, though, I need to let you know that you can get this series as a podcast anywhere in the world for free on all major podcasting platforms: iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Anchor, and more. As part of the I Love Value Investing podcast, you can get this anywhere in the world for free. Okay. So last week, I told you what share buybacks were. Pretty straightforward. The link for that is below if you missed it. Today, I'm going to tell you the one time, and there's only one, that share buybacks are an optimal use of capital. Yes, there are other times when you can do buybacks. Yes, there are other times when companies do buybacks. But in this one time, and one time only, is the best time to do buybacks. And that one time is when a stock is undervalued. The only time, or the best time, I'm not going to say the only time, the best time to do share buybacks, or for a company to do share buybacks, is when the stock is undervalued. The reason this is because think of a pizza. If you buy back shares, you have an entire pizza. Or let's forget about the share buybacks for a second. You have an entire pizza. You decide that to buy back shares because your pizza, in this case a company, is undervalued. If you buy back shares when it's undervalued, you get the same amount of pizza, but you get fewer people who are involved and around to eat the pizza, so you get to eat more pizza yourself. The pizza, or the amount of pizza you get in proportion, is the earnings per share or profits per share or cash flow per share, whatever your metric you want to use is. So earnings per share, or again, profits per share, whatever you use, go up over time when you buy back stock that is undervalued. The opposite is also true, which we'll get to in the next week's video. But before we get to that, I want to keep talking about other times companies do share buybacks. That is the only best time. The reason it's the best is because it increases earnings per share, profits per share, cash flow per share, and that over time increases the underlying value of the company, and that increases, again, in time, the value of the company shares. This can take a long time, depending on how big or small the company is, how efficient the market is at that point in time, all that kind of stuff. But if you buy back undervalued shares, it increases the earnings per share, which drives the value of the company higher, the underlying value of the company higher, which drives the share price higher, which increases your investment returns. This is why this is the best time to do share buybacks. There are other times when companies do share buybacks. This is mainly for a lot of bigger companies, as they have just kind of annual share buybacks. They buy back XYZ percent or XYZ amount of their shares. Is it good? Is it better than not buying back shares? Yes, because over time you'll be buying back shares when they're undervalued. Sometimes you'll be buying back when they're overvalued, but on average you'll be doing a decent-ish job of buying back shares when it's good time to buy back shares. Again, the best time to buy back shares is when it's undervalued. Other companies buy back shares and they don't even know what the value of their company is. They just do it just because they see other companies do it and they think they should be doing it. This is not a good use of capital. To buy back shares, you need to know what the value of your stock is, or value of what the company is, value of what the shares are, and again, in the best case scenario, buy when it's undervalued to increase earnings per share, all that. Most companies don't do this. This is, capital allocation stuff, kind of 101, which you would think most CEOs, people running companies know about. Boards of directors, chairmen, chairwomen, but they don't. They came up as marketers, they came up with salespeople, they came up as operators. They don't deal with capital allocation decisions. But this is ultra important to increase the value of the company over time and the shareholder return over time. Because if you do those, you're going to keep your job as a CEO. If you don't do those things, you're likely going to get fired at some point. You may have a job for longer than most people think or should think, but over time, you will eventually get fired. This is super important. Share buybacks are super important. But most people, and again, this when I first started, I didn't know. I thought the same thing. I thought share buybacks were good all of the time. I even wrote an article, I think it was about Jack in the Box, and you can search on the blog, because I have all the old blog posts from years ago still up on the blog, about Jack in the Box. And a commenter wrote in and said, hey, yeah, this is a great article, but you should only buy back shares when shares are undervalued. And I was like, I can't believe it. And took me through the lesson that I just took you through, or took me through a similar lesson that I just took you through. So this, again, if you don't know, if it's not your fault, it's pretty, unless you've studied capital allocation or share buybacks to any degree, which there's not much literature out there. Again, most people just kind of buy back shares whenever, or most companies just buy back shares whenever, and they don't really have a plan to do it and to do it in the best way possible. This is what most companies do. With the education here, we're trying to do better than most. We're trying to do better than the average. We're trying to earn higher investment returns than the average. And one way you do this is by knowing when is a good and bad time to do share buybacks. And there is a bad time, which we're going to talk about next week. But again, I'll leave that kind of teaser here for you. We're going to talk about when share buybacks are bad next week, and I'm going to give you in-depth examples as to why that is. Before we do that, though, thanks for watching today. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, I missed something, I should have explained something better, I forgot something, in the comments below. If you're watching on YouTube, like, love, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I release a new video, and I release new videos all the time. If you're listening on the podcast, like, love, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'd really appreciate a review if you left a review, because the more reviews, views, and listens we get to our content, the more people we can help. If you're looking for more specific help right now, we have some free resources below this video that'll help you become a better value investor and investor faster. And again, they're free, like 99% of the rest of our content. And we should also have information about our masterclass below this, which is a paid program. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Talk to you again soon.